Hi everyone, we are at week 7. You guys are basically done. Everything for this week is due Friday, which is the 17th. So let's take a look at what we're doing this week and what it is that you need to do to finish up your course in educational technology. So number 1, we are reading in our textbook this week. 4th edition, you're reading chapter 12. 6th edition, you're reading chapter 10. That's it, one chapter. All right, so then we have our social networking in schools. I know a lot of you are thinking, what? Social networking, Facebook, Instagram, they don't belong in school. Well, sometimes teachers do use these and they can be used for the benefit of students and the classroom. So we have a couple of different things. Here's an article. It's called Social Networking in School. Okay, so I would love for you to read that. It's not too long, as you can see. And then also Safe Social Networking Tailored for K-12 Schools. So this is definitely pushing right toward where you guys are going. There we go. Here we go. So making sure, there we go, both of those articles are there. And that was going to lead right into our week 7 discussion question. All right. It says, although the power and reach of social networks could make them highly effective educational tools, students often say they do not want their schools or teachers to have access to their social networking. For example, their Facebook. We all know our kids aren't using Facebook, but whatever it is they're using, Snapchat, Instagram. So what is your opinion? How can teachers harness this powerful way of reaching students without diminishing its appeal? Guys, you are walking a fine line when you come to this. All right, so what are some possible alternatives, either existing or potential, that could take the place of students' personal social networks for educational purposes, and what kinds of lessons might you plan to utilize social networking? So as usual, you're posting your initial response and responding to 2 classmates by Friday. So think about that. And I even think about that with you guys doing college. Do I want a classroom Facebook page? Do you want your school interfering with what you use your Facebook for, which is your personal use? So a lot of places get around this by creating groups, okay? So that can kind of keep it a little bit separate, and you can have a little bit more say of what you see and don't see from a certain group than from a page. That's Facebook. But students definitely do. I have found, I teach in a virtual school. I teach 11th graders. Well, it's American literature, so it's mostly 11th graders. And that is something I've struggled with. Like, I know that they are not listening to voicemails, but they are looking at text messages. So I try to utilize things like remind.com, which is not necessarily social networking, but I'm trying to reach them where they are, but without being too intrusive on the things that they consider theirs. So it's definitely walking a fine line. So I'll be interested to hear what you guys have to say about that. So that's this week's discussion post. All right. That's it, guys. That's it. And then our website. This is our culminating project for the class, and it is due on Friday. Everything's due on Friday. Class is over on Friday. So let's take a look at our website. All right, so here are our instructions. Give it just a second, and it will load. All right, so your website should have 3 pages. You should have a home page, a student page, and a parent page. And the rubric is really going to also help to break this down for you, but please make sure that each page has what it asks for, okay? So the first page is going to be your home page. This is going to be where you introduce yourself to your students. So imagine it's like the first week of school, but it's going to be a website that is used, throughout the school year. So you're going to introduce yourself to your students and their parents, give a brief description of yourself and your class, include any introductory information that you would like for people to know about yourself. It should also include a brief description of your class, an introduction, contact information, at least an email and or phone number. All right, it doesn't have to be your actual email or your phone number. I totally get if you don't want to do that, make something up, that's fine. All right, it should be enhanced with some graphics or photos. A picture of yourself would be cool, or your Bitmoji if you don't want to do a picture of yourself, that's fine. And 2 working hyperlinks. That means they need to go to somewhere else on the internet, okay? 2 working hyperlinks. It can be to any site that you think would be appropriate, but it should go along with what you're doing. So maybe like, here is the link to our county school system page, or here's a link to the Georgia Performance Standards, or anything else that's appropriate to that home page. Then you have your student page. This page is for students, so depending on your age group, it should be geared to them. You want to get them motivated for your class, provide them with some information, announcements, etc. And then if you want to decide your if you're designing your page for an early childhood course, it should be developmentally appropriate for that age group. So definitely more pictures than words, all right? And then middle school, high school, make it more appropriate for them. It should support specific content. So if you're an English teacher, then it should support specific English content. If you teach all the subjects, then maybe different things for each subject. But you want to make sure that it is definitely content specific for whatever it is you're doing. All right? And then you want to make sure that you have two working hyperlinks on that page, and you should also have a link to your podcast. All right? To your podcast and to your blog, which you did this week. Those do not include the hyperlinks, all right? But those should be in addition to the 2 working hyperlinks you have. Then you have your parent page, and this is designed to provide information, help your parents. So it can include class rules, testing advice, supply lists, that kind of stuff. And then 2 working hyperlinks on this one as well. And those could be like, you can go to Khan Academy and get some extra help here. You can go to USA Test Prep and get some extra help here. That kind of stuff. So nothing big, but 2 working hyperlinks. All right, so you want to start off with planning out your website, and you can use, we said Mind42, and this was something off of For Teachers. That's something that's on there you can use, but you can also just plan it out yourself. All right, so that is what we are doing for our webpage. Now, you have a couple of options here. You can do it on Google Sites, and this is the instructions on how to do that. You can also do this, and I'm about to pull it up just so you guys can see it. And this is kind of this to me is easier and better than Google Sites. Weebly. If you guys have not used Weebly, it is awesome. It is easy. There's a lot of drag and drop, which I love. Weebly is easy to use. So I would definitely suggest, if you are not comfortable with Google Sites, if you've never used it before, click on this one, you sign up for it, and then you can use it. And so what I'm going to do is put a couple of, where are we? Right here. I'm going to put a couple of Weebly resources down here for you to use as well. So you're welcome, because you already have Google Sites accounts, but you are welcome to also use Weebly. Either one of those is fine. If you are working on this week and you have questions, Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, please feel free to send me an email. I'm happy to respond to that email. I'm even happy to meet with you one of these evenings in a conference room. If you email me Friday at 8:45 p.m. and tell me you don't know what you're doing, that's going to be a little tougher. So my suggestion is that you try this out and get started on it as soon as possible if you have not already, and start working on this. And then if you have questions, that way I can answer them for you in a timely manner. All right, like I said, I'm going to put a couple of Weebly links down here, so when you guys have access to this, you'll see the Weebly links, and they will help you as well. So all you're submitting here is a website URL. That's it. Here's your rubric. It tells you what should be on the home page. It tells you what should be on the student page, and it tells you what should be on the parent page. I'm also looking at design qualities, the graphics and the colors. Do they enhance the site? The information, is it presented in a logical manner? Is your site easy to navigate? Can I get to each page easily? And then, of course, grammar, usage, and form. If you have questions, please let me know. I know you guys are going to do great. You've done great all this whole course. If you have questions, please let me know.